On one online review site, the Mansion Lions is rated 41st out of 41 hotels in Eastbourne. A standing Mr. Gulzar hotly protests.
We have a file full of compliments people have given.
The critics have taken against the service.
Here's the lost barman. We have found him. He was in one of the bins.
The decor.
We have some expensive decorations all around. I've never had anything stolen.
And the entertainment.
We have music, we have dance. There's a very cheerful, happy atmosphere.
With one reviewer sending out a unique SOS. The hotel inspector is keen to get to the bottom of why so many guests appear to wake up on the wrong side of the bed.
Staying here is an experience of the worst kind. My worst hotel experience for years, another review. Gosh. This volume of evidence is quite hard to completely ignore or discount.
The Mansion Lions is now ready to welcome back its harshest critics. The guests who left a very public complaint on an online review website. For Mr. Gulzar and the Mansion Lions, it's a second chance to make a good impression.
I've stayed in probably 50 to 100 hotels. Top one for worstness.
We did not find the service that we wanted to have.
It was literally, you know, you almost handed over your credit card, paid, and that was about you left to your own devices. It was literally like that.
Alex wants the hotel to provide a faultless dinner, bed and breakfast before serving the disgruntled guests and the dissatisfied ladies from the Women's Institute afternoon tea in the newly renovated lounge.
I've invited the bad reviewers back in the hope that we've managed to improve the hotel enough that we can get them to revise their past bad opinions.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Mansion Lions Hotel. I'm grateful and pleased that you have all come. It will help us to understand what your problems were.
But you need to treat every guest individually, not just assume that they're going to be coming along with lots of wants and requirements.
Service not very good at all. Cold meals, which is not pleasant when you're looking for a hot meal at night.
The lights in the bathroom didn't work. We had a blocked shower drain with hair. We also requested a bath, got given a key to someone else's room.
If you don't like the room, for God's sake, why do you take it?
We changed 4 times.
That's what happened.
The next room we went to, the lights didn't work, the drain was blocked. I mean, how can we expect to enjoy the rest of our holiday?
This is unusual, and we're really sorry that that happened.
Unusual.
You know, we've learned from comments like yours, I can assure you.
Comments do come
This
handy.
is important. It's not right. We're in the business of making people happy. I'm sure you'll be very satisfied.
If they get this right, it could really make a difference to their ratings. If they get it wrong, they'll be stuck at the bottom forever.
With cream tea over, the returning guests prepare their reviews. Have the Mansion Lions team done enough to convince them to change their minds?
Look, those ladies are writing their reviews. You see, not all older people are incapable of using a computer, Mr. Gulzar. We'll wait and see what they've written. Fingers crossed.
Indeed.
With the reviews posted, Alex delivers the verdict.
We asked everyone to write reviews, and you'll be glad to hear that so far you've got 2 averages and 4 very goods. A great welcome, which was nice. There were good improvement on the rooms, which is, again, a very positive comment, and it will be nice to see that up on the site. One of the Women's Institute women wrote 100% upgrade on my coffee morning here 3 weeks ago. So that ought to considerably improve your rating.
Well, there was a lovely atmosphere in here. Felt good, don't you think?
Yes, I'm pleased they all enjoyed, and it was very good.
Basically, you mustn't stop here. I would like to see you amongst the top hotels rated in Eastbourne. You know, I passionately want that for you.
I think we know the journey has started, and it will take a little while to get into the top 10, but we'll do that. That's our aim, that's our wish to achieve.
Alex departs the Mansion Lions with cautious optimism.
Well, they certainly haven't turned the corner yet. All I can hope, ultimately, is that they've taken the first steps along a path that they really mean to continue on.
Plymouth is flooded with big-name chain hotels. And independents like the Astor are struggling for survival.
Good evening, Astor Hotel. How may I help you?
In his 9 years in charge, Joseph has never taken a profit.
We are not doing as well as we should be doing. It has been a struggle. I spent a few £100,000 in the hotel already, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's okay. It's not. I should be doing far better than what I'm doing now.
Adding to the Astor's woes is a barrage of bad internet reviews, with more than half the contributors to one website not recommending the hotel. Criticism the proud Persian finds hard to accept.
I couldn't even read it because it's too personal, and I know it's lie. I mean, somebody said about my reception. You've seen the reception. They said the carpet was ripped and things like that. It really does hurt, but because I know it's not true.
With Joseph seemingly reluctant to accept her criticism, Alex returns to her room to see if she's alone in her dissatisfaction.
OK, so the reception area is ghastly. The carpets all over have never been cleaned. Well, I concur with that idea, absolutely. Possibly the worst hotel ever. Of the reviews, 70% do not recommend the Astor. 17 reviews were terrible and only 4 were excellent.
The bad reviews could be catastrophic. New guests frequently check review sites before booking an independent hotel. So what does Joseph make of the Astor's critics?
OK, so, urgently needs the help of the hotel inspector. And I didn't post that, I promise you. The carpets all over have never been cleaned. No help in showing the room.
That's impossible.
But I found dirty carpets, darling.
No, I'm not liking this section.
No, but listen, listen. Don't be defensive. I'm not trying to make you or your hotel or anything else look bad.
But bear in mind, I'm very active in the city and I have upset a lot of bad people. There are things that is going to make my hotel look like a...
no, it isn't going to make...
I'm not going to allow that. I don't even want to talk about that because that is nonsense. That is absolute nonsense.
Well, I know, but you're living in a fantasy world.
Joseph claims that several of the complaints aren't real. But bogus or not, the poor reviews will still put off potential guests.
Well, listen to me, please.
I am, of course, yeah.
No, you're not, because you're completely missing the point. In modern times, before someone books a hotel, they go and look up something like TripAdvisor.
Okay, yes.
And this is the impression they're getting of your hotel, okay?
Yeah.
Fine.
Apologies, yes.
Every single one of these comments here can be replied to, so you have a right to reply.
Right.
And I'm saying you're missing a trick by not replying to these and making sure that you put your side of the story.
Okay, yes. Now it sounds brilliant.
What did you think of the hotel that I sent you to? I mean, they do have an award-winning breakfast.
Awards I don't go for. My awards come from my customers, so that doesn't mean anything to me.
I find it so difficult sometimes, Dol, to talk to someone who is so defensive about everything that I say. Well, I don't agree with you because actually, you don't say I don't go for awards. Well, why are you rated then?
I'm not 3-star, I'm not 4-star, I'm just Astor Hotel. I don't believe in any of these awards.
Fine, but you only agree with the customers who like what you do.
Of course.
Well, darling, how is that normal?
Yeah, but
you have to also listen to customers who don't like what you do because that teaches you to do things maybe slightly differently.
Of course, I did from you. You as a customer, you recommended something and I listened to it.
But Alex is not convinced that Joseph takes his ordinary guests' criticism so seriously.
For me personally, I felt they were too fussy.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah.
A little bit dated, I think.
All right.
And the bath was dirty and had some hairs in it.
My issue was that it didn't feel like an executive room. It felt more feminine than I would have wanted it to.
Mm-hmm. And to Alex's delight, the message appears to have got through to Joseph.
Nobody ever told me what they told me tonight. They're not even my customers or my guests, but they come in here and giving me these ideas. I really appreciate it. My hats off to Alex, and yeah, brilliant.
Oh, my favourite room. But Joseph, this looks fantastic.
Yeah, I did it. Yeah.
And a new room folder. That looks 100 times better than the last scrappy little thing that you had here, so well done. Hangers. Very nice. Good. Hangers in. Let's go and have a look at another room.
course.
Thank you.
There's been definite progress in the
Thank
bridal
you very
suites, but Alex wants to check on the rooms aimed at business travellers.
Hangers? Aha.
Yeah, all right.
That without all of those looks like a different wardrobe.
Be having a word.
You and I continue to disagree about the correct place to keep a towel.
Yes, okay.
I think in the rooms that you're trying to sell for business customers, they should go in there.
Okay.
You're going to do it now.
Yeah, I'm
Good,
gonna do it right
Joseph.
now.
You're really
Yes.
firing on all cylinders.
The deal is
today.
done. The deal is done. Now we're in business, and thank you.
Thank you. I'm very pleased.
Keeps them warm as well. That's fantastic.
That's what it's there for. Thank you,
And
Joseph.
save me an extra towel as well. I can have a shower now.
So far, progress has been patchy. Alex also asked Joseph to respond calmly and professionally to the Astor's many damaging online guest reviews.
So, what have you written back? Websites such as this one are great news for passing the words of mouth faster and to a wide audience, but unfortunately it seems to be used for settling personal issues. Hoping this message will help the users to read between the lines and judge themselves. So now I'm interested why you wrote like that. You haven't given any information apart from the fact that you feel like this is a personal attack.
That is a campaign, definitely. That is personal, and I know you said...
Why do you think it's...
I know,
I think you're bonkers when... This is somewhere where I think you're delusional.
Those comments, they mean nothing to me because I know that is just not... This is my livelihood. Every guest is like a family here, so I take it... Of course I take it...
Well, every guest except a guest who's unhappy and makes an unjustifiable comment.
No, I'm not saying all of it. It's 4 of them definitely is personal. It's just impossible.
Wake up, hello.
Yeah.
Hotel is personal, but this is a business. This is what I keep saying.
Joseph is convinced he's the victim of a campaign, but his emotional response to the review could do more harm than good.
You must try and remove the very personal, that knee-jerk reaction of yours.
Okay, I'm afraid we disagree on this one.
Well,
I think we should
okay.
just leave this bit because
Okay,
we are not going to
fine.
get anywhere with it.
There's some things that I simply cannot get through to him about. It's like a waltz. There's 1 step forwards, 2 steps sideways, 1 step back. I don't think he really understands the steps necessary to make this place busier, functioning better as a hotel.
The Oakland, a 2-star, 36-bedroom hotel in the town of South Woodham Ferrers, Essex. Home to the Dolbear family.
Bucket full of dirty water left in the corridor for someone to trip over and knock all over the floor. What the hell have we got ping pong balls doing in here?
What do you want me to put them up your arse?
Dad, Jeff and Mum Marilyn bought the struggling hotel 9 years ago, investing their life savings, hoping to provide a rosy future for their children, Andy and Shelley.
Andrew does the bar part of it.
Thanks, sausage.
Thanks, mate.
Shelley does the hotel part of it.
Good evening, the Oakland Hotel.
But for the Dolbears, running the Oakland has been far from happy families.
Andrew says Shelley don't do nothing, and Shelley says Andrew don't do nothing.
There's a lot of rivalry and jealousy.
You don't have to be jealous.
No, you always have been.
With everyone wanting the final word.
He's the boss, apparently.
I do basically run it.
OK.
He thinks he's in charge, and I'm in charge.
If you had booked this place, cancel, cancel, cancel. They write awful things. You change the T in hotel to a V. And you think, well, it can't be that bad. Good view of the public toilets. We don't say that we've got a sea view or anything.
If things don't improve fast, the family fear the party will soon be over.
I would be sad to lose the business if that was the only option out, yes.
This business means everything, really.
If we lost the business at this stage, we'd be devastated because we've put so much work in. We've given it our all.
Against Jeff's wishes, the desperate Dolbears have called upon renowned hotelier Alex Polizzi for help.
I want to kill my son for putting me in this position, because I don't need this. I'll sack him.
Now, in my bathroom, I don't have any way to wash my hair.
It's a jet wash bath. If you stick your head above the jet wash, you get in a jet wash.
Luckily, Andy has the solution to hand.
Thank you very much. I'll take this up to my room. See you in the morning for poached eggs on toast.
Fried breakfast or nothing, as far as he's concerned.
As Alex retires for the night, she worries this family business may be beyond fixing.
Jeff was quite a bully, I thought, to Andy, which, considering he doesn't know me, he immediately made evident a kind of rift in the family. I'm feeling really nervous about it. It looks great here. There's a huge difference.
We've been so busy we haven't had time to argue.
That's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
The Dolbeers have made a step towards improving a guest's first impression of the Oakland, but it's inside where Alex's team have made the real difference. The once cluttered and unappealing reception has been transformed into something providing a more inviting and professional welcome.
So, the purpose of this was to make it much nicer for incoming hotel guests. Have I achieved that, do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah?
It's very nice.
This is not just the entrance to the bar. But at the same time, you know, take away the yellow chairs and you still have a perfectly acceptable nightclub entrance. Are you happy with it?
Yeah, well impressed, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Good, I'm glad.
Alex has also transformed JD's bar into a multifunctional room for use by midweek hotel guests and weekend clubbers alike. By using bold, contemporary wall colours and a selection of sofas, she's created a dedicated lounge area.
This is the area that you can sit and have a coffee in the morning or read the papers if you're staying in the hotel, if you have to hang about for a while.
By taking breakfast off the bar and into a purpose-built area, guests can now enjoy a full hotel experience with their full English.
All of a sudden, it looks kind of French brasserie style, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Does actually.
I really like it, yeah.
I really like it, yeah.
Alex may have injected some much-needed ooh la la into the breakfast room, but for Andy and Jeff, it's a little too continental.
I think it looks a bit boudoir-ish. Looks like a gay bar.
It doesn't look like any gay bar I've ever been in.
Pink, 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 very girly.
I think, whatever you think of the colour scheme, this is a cut above. You know, it's a little bit smarter. I know this is probably hard for you because I'm trying to make this an attachment to the hotel rather than a standalone. But I honestly think that it's for the great good of the business. I just want it all to work better together. Yeah?
Yep.
Ooh, look at this. Very nice headboard, very nice wallpaper, great coordination colour scheme. And the furniture is lovely. Can you see the difference now?
Yeah, it's a different colour.
Can you see the difference?
Yes,
in
yes.
why this might be more appealing to the modern traveller?
No, it does look, it really looks nice.
Alex wants to find out if the distinguished business guests were impressed enough by the new-look Oakland and the Dolbeers' charms to book some rooms.
I think the room you've done up is really smart, so definitely love to send people your way. 100%.
Thank you.
We also have a lot of subcontractors and engineers coming down from up north to see demonstrations, so that would be ideal if the room's to that standard. It was great. Okay.
Sounds good.
Great, thank you. Finally, last but not least, of course.
Definitely for our societies and any corporate events we have, we will be sending them your way.
Good. Thanks.
Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Thanks.
It seems the Dolbeers' teamwork has paid off. 28-year-old Richard Nuns bought Blossoms 2 years ago. But with a £500,000 mortgage, his investment is costing him his peace of mind.
When we bought it, the figures added up, but the figures adding up is one thing. The day-to-day thing of I'm spending all this money and I'm not getting any money back is very different.
The biggest problem is, for some reason, a high proportion of his guests are complaining.
Room's too small, the door locks don't work, got a terrible breakfast, everything very dated. The rooms have been spoilt by making them small. Very average accommodation, poor staff attitudes, making it a very unpleasant stay. When you look at the comments that guests leave, you'll find they're not just average, they're very, very unhappy. So there's obviously something going on that we haven't quite got a handle on.
Richard is at his wit's end.
These people, they book then when they arrive, it wasn't what they're expecting, and unless we can overnight redecorate all the rooms, bash them down to make them twice the size, they're not going to be happy.
Very nice young man, obviously very together, especially on the business side, which is great. I think this is going to be something of a task, because how do we affect a change in the quality without actually taking out an enormous number of bed nights? It's a little problem for me. I mean, this just fills me with horror, because I feel like I'm in a dormitory, but something to tackle. I'm just flabbergasted. Every bit of furniture is either from a jumble sale or the cheapest furniture warehouse you could find. What, 15 quid this unit? He'll give me 5. Now, if you want to put 6 people in a room like this, then do it. But don't moan about people complaining, because, you know, I can't imagine, I say, how many people would want to be in this room? Not 2 people, never mind 6. Horrible, horrible, horrible.
The bedrooms weren't the only problem. Many guests also complained about the poor breakfast, shoddy service and staff attitude.
Well, I'm coming down to breakfast. I think Richard's cooking, so let's see whether he can do it.
Good morning. Can I get you anything to drink?
Yes, please. What have we got to?
Tea, coffee, we've got fruit teas as well. Help yourself to juice and cereals and
Okay,
things.
so I'd like some tea, please.
Yep, certainly.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Richard.
For Richard, breakfast is another opportunity to keep costs at a minimum.
Well, I was going to get some orange juice, but it's quite obviously not even fresh, fake orange juice. It's out of some kind of carton and ambient and looks, you know, that heavily pasteurised stuff. So I'm not going to have orange juice.
Okay.
Thank you. Tell me, Richard, about your orange juice, because it doesn't look very prepossessing. Are we looking at freshly so-called squeezed in the cartons, or are we looking at long life ambient orange juice?
Long life orange juice.
Yes. Quite old-fashioned thing to do nowadays, you know.
Cost. If you show me somewhere where I can get fresh orange juice for 80p a litre, then I'll be delighted to use it.
I know. I understand that cost is very important to you.
Some of the complaints have been levelled at Blossom's staff. Ruth has already identified that Richard's manner with customers is somewhat brusque.
I'm aware that some people think my communication skills are an issue. In particular, sometimes I know that I can be very blunt. If something's cut and dried, I won't beat about the bush. I'll just say what it is. I don't especially like to waste time adding flowery language to my speech.
I need to ask you, why did you want to come into this business? Because you don't strike me as being someone who's terribly comfortable with people.
Sure. I originally went into the hotels when I was a student, and it was a part-time job that I found I really enjoyed.
So you actually like customers?
You sound surprised.
Well, I am slightly surprised, because there's some messages that are in your guest comment things that suggest that the hospitality isn't always everything it could be. Some of them say that there's over-familiarity, some of them say it's cool and chill. Is this because you're displaying one fashion and when the others are...
I don't think so, because that's something we've looked at before, and obviously when people arrive, we try to, myself and the staff, we try to gauge what they like and what level to speak to them at.
I don't think you're at all unpleasant, don't get me wrong, or even rude, but I think that we can actually do some technical things to kind of soften up your approach, because you obviously do like people. You've told me so, I believe it. And I'm really pleased you like being in hospitality, because that was one of the biggest questions I had, is should we be doing this at all?
We've got a terrible breakfast, very average accommodation, poor staff attitudes, making it a very unpleasant stay.
He's at his wit's end about the guests' criticism.
These people, they book, then when they arrive, it wasn't what they're expecting, and unless we can overnight redecorate all the rooms, bash them down to make them twice the size, they're not going to be happy.
How is anyone responding positively to these changes, or neutral? Or how's it going?
People are saying the breakfast is good and no one's complaining.
Good.
Very good. Good quality. My husband's been tucking in every morning to cook breakfast, which he doesn't normally do at home, so it's very good.
Breakfast was very nice, yes.
especially the bacon. Bacon tastes good.
Very nice, especially the sausage and the bacon.
Yeah. The tea is nice too. Yeah.
The new breakfasts are a hit. Next, room 5. Previously home to 6 permanent beds, it didn't make the most of the period features.
So have you been very busy, Richard?
Always very busy. Always
Yeah, that's
very busy.
good. Well, that's fabulous.
Richard's original plans for the room didn't go down too well with Ruth, so what will she make of his second stab at interior design? Now it has a classical style that befits the building, and with cleverly concealed extra beds, there's more room for the guests.
So, let's see. Oh, gosh!
It's a big change, isn't it?
Oh, Richard! This is such... I mean, you can see the room now.
Indeed, yes.
I mean, before it was like some kind of YMCA bedstock room. Oh, what a difference. I love the wallpaper. Gosh, it's marvellous, isn't it? And the light, I love the blinds. Really do. I mean, you can really see the town. Look at
Absolutely,
all that
yeah.
lovely stuff
Yeah.
out there that you can now see.
The thing I like with the colour on the walls is that, like, things like the picture rail and the size of the windows and the lamp, where before they looked not nice, just by changing the colour of the walls, and now they stand out and they look really beautiful,
Everything
don't they?
stands out. You can see it's actually, you know, at least half of a fantastic room. For me, the real... Well, there's a lot of things, but I love the fact you can see this is a Georgian building, you know, with
Yes,
the windows
absolutely.
and the shutter things underneath and the architrave and all that. It just looks like a fine room now.
One major cause of customer dissatisfaction was the state and size of the rooms. 6 months ago, Laura and Daniel stayed at Blossoms for 2 nights. They were so unhappy they complained to Richard in writing about their tiny room, the tired decor, and the unfriendly staff. With so many changes since in both the hotel and its staff, Ruth has invited them back to sample the new look Blossoms.
So Dan and Laura, last time you came, you didn't have a very good experience because my understanding is that when you first came, you really were disappointed and you let Richard know in no uncertain terms that you didn't think it
pretty
was
much. I mean, he sent me an email survey, so I filled it in and said that I wasn't particularly
So what
impressed
had
with
been the
with whole thing.
problems?
It was mainly the room. It was a bit strange and dated and cramped, wasn't it? It was
Very small.
So once you'd seen this room and thought, did you try and avoid it as much as possible?
Yeah, we just dropped our bags off and went out and then came back, slept and then went out again in the morning.
Yeah.
But will Richard have done enough to impress them after their last terrible stay?
So any special event or just getting a couple of days away?
Ruth has arranged for them to stay in the newly refurbished room 5. It's the moment of truth for Richard. Can he win over a sceptical Daniel and Laura?
What do you think?
Very nice.
Yeah, it's
a bit of change.
Isn't it? It's very fresh. And, I like your pattern wallpaper and that's good.
Indeed.
Yeah, lovely.
Can I get you a tea or a coffee or anything now?
I think we'll just use what you've got over there on the tray, if that's all right.
Perfect.
Cool.
Well, make yourselves at home, and if you need, just give me a shout.
Yeah, I'll take my bag off and wait ourselves at home, I think. Cheers.
After a night in room 5, Daniel and Laura enjoy the improved breakfast. But what's the final verdict?
Staff are more welcoming, the whole place is more welcoming, the room's a lot nicer and, yeah, big improvement all round, I think.
Richard was a bit more forthcoming than he was before, and they cleared out a little bit of the clutter. If they do up the whole hotel to the same standard as the room we stayed in, then we'd definitely come back, yeah.
Daniel and Laura can finally leave as satisfied customers. But Ruth still has some concerns about Richard's attitude to hospitality.
I want you to really care about this, and I know that you don't care about it as much as I care about it. That's just a given. But you have got a beautiful building, and I know that even within the limitations of still wanting to trade it with lots of people in lots of rooms and things, it can still look much better than it does. In terms of the refurbishment, I mean, can I go away feeling quite secure that you really have bought into the idea of making changes to the way the rooms look?
The biggest change in investment which we've made since your first visit, which maybe you haven't even picked up on so much, is that we have taken on a guy specifically to do that on a full-time basis.
Right.
So our speed is basically the speed that he's working at.
Right, but you have bought into the idea that the rooms do need to be upgraded in some way, yeah? In terms of the future, we've talked in the past about you buying another hotel and that this canvas isn't big enough for you. And as I've said time and time again, you know, you are above anybody I've worked with, the person who is most able to control costs, who understands the business side of running a hotel, keeps everything very, very shipshape in the financial and the business structure. But where you're lacking for me is the visual eye about caring about what things look like, right? I'd like you to care more about things looking nice. And we've talked also about the customer appreciation and you feeling a bit shy with people and what have you. But you know that now, don't you? And you're making some progress, yeah?
Yeah.
Richard may not love his hotel, but he's come a long way in 5 months.
I think I've got him to see that the building needs to look as nice as customers want it to. It's a bit argy-bargy there, I'm not sure I've totally convinced him. But all in all, he runs a very nice hotel, and as long as he keeps remembering that the customer is the important thing and to embrace them both physically and metaphorically, I think he's going to be really successful.